So now we need to determine whether the conclusions are valid. So for example 3, you want to know how the residents of your own town feel about adding a new landfill. Determine whether each conclusion is valid. So you survey 100 residents who live closest to the new landfill. The diagram shows the results. So we had 90 people that were against it and 90% that was against it and 10% that was for it. So against it meaning they didn't want the landfill, for it meaning go ahead, put that in there. So the diagram shows, like we just said, that you conclude that 10% of the residents of the town support the new landfill. Is it valid? So is this a valid result? The answer is no. So the reason it's no would be because of what I underlined right here. You surveyed 100 residents who live closest to the landfill. So because we only surveyed residents that were closest to the landfill, this does not represent our town. And we're trying to figure out how our town feels about adding a new landfill. So our town doesn't all live next to where this landfill would go. And so therefore, this is going to be biased. If you think about it, if we're adding a landfill, so that's where we dump our trash, people who live close to it, they aren't going to want that there. But if it's going to help our town and we need a place to put all this stuff, then maybe the town might have a different perspective. So if we only ask those around where it would be at, of course the answer will be no. But if we ask the entire town, the data could change. All right, so now we survey 100 residents at random. The table shows the results. You conclude that 60% of the residents in your towns do not support the new landfill. So this is valid, and that's because it was at random. And since we surveyed it at random, it better represents our town. Now, our conclusion was still the same. The majority of people don't want a landfill, but you can see that the results were a little bit closer. Instead of it being 90 against and 10% for, now we're at 60% against and 40% for it. So our results still came out here similar. However, that's not always the case when we survey people and we have a biased group. We need to make sure that we are representing our population as a whole. So now I want you to pause the video and do the try it on your own. And then when you're ready, I want you to check your answers with mine. So go ahead and pause the video here. All right, so 4 out of 5 randomly chosen teenagers support the new landfill. So you conclude that 80% of the residents of your town support the new landfill. Is the conclusion valid? Explain. So this is no, it is not valid. The reasoning for this is because we only asked 5 people. And so this isn't a large enough group to then say that that represents the entire town. So it's not a large enough group to represent the town, and therefore this is bias.